Okay. It says that I'm live, and my apologies, I am late. My computer and YouTube being slow. And as I haven't done a live on YouTube for a while, I get to readjust everything. And that's awkward. Make sure everything's somewhat set. Okay. Someone's watching, and say hi. As we get started here, I would, because I'm running late, I'm especially like, let's start now. Okay, so I want everybody who is watching now or in replay to take a moment and get connected. Let's see. So what if you were in the center of your soul, where your spirit and your body connect? Notice how that feels to be in that space. Is it peaceful? Do you feel love? I always feel this wonderful love, almost an excitement kind of thing. Like, yes, I'm connected. I'm connected to my soul. I'm connected to my spirit. I'm connected. It's where all of the parts of me converge. That center space. It feels so amazing. So what if you were there right now? How would that feel? And if you notice that you have resistance to being in this space, send some love, some light to that. It can be as simple as, I'm loving this resistance. And now in this center space, imagine that light is coming down from above, from your divine guidance, from God above, the universe. Just allow all of that love, light, energy come into your body and inspire you. And what if you were open to receiving inspiration directly from the divine, as well as through my words? What if you were open to receiving what is right for you at this time? And then what if you were embraced by the energy of the earth? That the earth was welcoming you to this life and was supporting you in this beautiful embrace. What does that feel like? Describe it to yourself and notice how it feels. What does it feel like to rest into that embrace? And maybe move your body however your body wants to move. For some of you, it may be bouncy. For others of you, it may be flowy. Our souls and spirits are so happy to be in our bodies. What does it feel like to just really be in your body right now? How does that feel? To be so in your body and still so connected. And then let's set an intention for this live, that while you are here, you will receive exactly what you're here to receive. That the energy will encompass you and keep you connected and keep the internet connected and the live going well. And what if all of the distractions of the world could just go away, just for a minute, just for this time, just for while we're here? That we can trust that the things that maybe wanting our attention can wait, so that you're here in this time, this amazing moment. Today I'm going to be talking about integrity. I've been reading a book. I think it's called The Promise. The phone with the information on it is too far away for me to get the exact information for you. But if you want that, leave a comment and I will get it to you as soon as I can. And I know that it is written by Jason Hewlett. And I think it's kind of like The Promise to the One or something like that. So if you want to go find it, I'm sure you can find it. And some of the things that he was talking about, and so far in reading that book, is that, and excuse me, I'm going to drink a little bit of water for a minute. I don't think my body liked something I ate last night. And it's feeling congested this morning. So he talked about how he kind of shared the story about when he had made this promise to himself as a kid that he would be a headliner in Las Vegas. And so he had made this promise to himself and he was going for it. He was going to do it and he was committed. And then he shared about another situation where he created a promise to himself about the kind of entertainment that he would do in his life. He got to a point where he had this opportunity to be the headliner in Las Vegas. But in order to do that, he would have to break the other promise to himself. He would have to not be doing clean, and he would have to let go and change the content that he was willing to do. So he was left in this position. Which promise to myself do I keep? And I've noticed in my own life, there are things. I made some promises about the kind of mother I would be, that I would be there for my kids. I made this promise. And then I'm in this space in my life right now where, in order to take care of my family the way that I want to, I'm being faced with opposition to this promise that I created to myself. And and that's part of why it feels like a death to me. It's not the only reason, but it feels like death to me to go out and get a job. And a part of that is this promise I made to myself as a child. I promised myself I would be there for my kids, that I would be a stay-at-home mom, probably because it was really hard for me when my mom wasn't home, or when my mom was babysitting and the kids that she was babysitting was more important than I was. That's how it felt to me, because I didn't feel like I had full access to my mom. When she was doing a lot of, she didn't, and it wasn't even that she had full-time jobs until I was 12, and she was going to college and working and taking care of family as a single mom. It was direct sales jobs that took her away, or she was working for the census as a part-time job and it took her away for a little while. So it wasn't like she was always gone, but it was just those little things, and which has been really interesting to evaluate. So one of the things that we've got to look at when we are asking about integrity is, what promises have I made? Did I make promises back then that I'm not fulfilling? Am I making promises to myself now? I have made a promise to do a Facebook Live every Friday. The only exceptions are in, not Facebook Live. I have promised to do a live. I chose Facebook at first, which is why I've done 3 Facebook Lives. And then in the description, there is a link to the Facebook group that you can go and join if you want to see those past 3 lives. I think they were very amazing. There is some transformational processes in those videos that are just worth it, if you ask me, especially the first one. The first one has one of the most powerful tools that I've used in my life. And so if you want to see those, you can go join the group. They're in the description. Also, if you want reminders for future live videos, wherever they're going to be, there will always be the link to wherever that's going to be. So if I move to a different platform, the reminder will show the new platform. And you can set up for reminders or replays. That's down below. Also, that's also down below. So I made this commitment. Now, there are other promises that will come first. And so today I didn't sleep well last night. I woke up this morning just kind of ill. I've got this congestion in my throat. It would have been so easy for me to just be like, I'm not going to do my live. I don't know how many people are actually going to watch it anyway. Maybe nobody will watch it, and that's okay. I don't really feel the most amazing. My voice is kind of yucky right now. I could have said all of these things and said I'm not doing it. I could have looked at when I said I wanted to be on my live at 11:11 and it was 11:13 and I was still fighting with the Facebook slowness or the YouTube slowness. I had to change my brain. It's been so long since I did a YouTube live. But I could have said, it's taking too long. I'm just going to quit. I could have done that. When I've done my lives in my group that has like 20 members in the group, I could have thought, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I do this or not because nobody's going to watch it. Maybe one or two people are going to watch it. And I could have just quit. But that would not have been keeping a promise to myself. And how do you feel in your life when you aren't keeping promises to another person or when somebody doesn't keep a promise to you? And how can you expect other people to keep promises to you when you don't keep promises to yourself? And this is really what integrity is. It's saying and doing things that you would do whether nobody's watching or nobody knows about the promise that you've made. I have a particular promise that I think I know maybe 2 people know that I'm doing this, but they don't actually know what I promised myself, but they know I'm doing something. They wouldn't have a clue whether or not I did it because there's no accountability there. It's all up to me. It's important that I do this. I do this whether anybody knows about it or not. Also, talk about painful. The other thing was, would you say the same thing if you knew just a small number of people were watching as you would say if you knew hundreds and thousands and millions of people were going to watch? Would you say the same thing? That's integrity. And it hurts sometimes because I realize, like, I have a picture right here. I don't know if you can see. Let me move the crystal out of the way. That's the Savior. That is Jesus Christ. I spend so much time trying to be in allowing you to have your things, which is great. I totally want you to believe what you believe. I don't want you to believe in Jesus Christ if you don't believe in Jesus Christ. Unless you feel called to learn about him and believe in him. I don't want to force you to do anything, and I don't want to inflict my views on you. And because of that, because I want to be so allowing of you to have your own space, I have many times knowing, okay, I'm on a YouTube channel. I could have people from any religion watching this or no religion. I need to filter what I say. Is that being in integrity with myself? No, it's not. Because the truth is that I do believe in God and God the Mother. I believe that they're 2 separate beings that love us unconditionally and they work together to love us. And I believe that we have the Savior, Jesus Christ. And these are the people that when I'm saying connect with your divine beings, these are the people I'm connecting with. And it is out of integrity for me to not acknowledge that, for me to not say it because somebody might judge me. And that's something that I want you guys to look at right now. And I've been asking for a process because I am a transformational speaker. I don't want to just come in here and like when I'm just doing my regular YouTube videos, the idea of just coming in here and saying inspirational things with the hope that you will hear something to help you transform, that's okay for me. But in these lives, the whole point of these is to not only give you information, but to help you to actually make a transformation. Um, so the first thought that's coming to me is be conscious about your choices. I chose today when I filled out my my little daily plan for the day. I specifically wrote, I promise to. And then I wrote down something that I promised to do today. Now, I have a list of some other things that I really want to do them, but they aren't promises. It's kind of a, if I can fit these into my day today, these will happen today. But I have something that I promised, and that thing must happen today. In fact, it'll be what I go do after I am done with this live. And I'm being very intentional when I set my schedule. I promise to do my lives. I'm here on my live. I promise to do this conversation with my son. I'm doing this conversation with my son. And then I'm looking at the other things in my day. Is that a promise I'm making, or is that not a promise? And I'm being very clear on whether or not it's a promise. And when I create my schedule for the week, my boxes that I put things in, they are conditional promises. If nothing major comes up, then I will, this is what I'm working on this day. That condition is set in there so that, like a couple weeks ago, my washing machine broke down and my whole Monday was thrown upside down because of these things that changed everything. And so I was able to say, wow, okay, so normally I would do this here. I'm being flexible. I'm going to move it somewhere else. And I did a whole live on being flexible last week that you can go watch in the Facebook group. Okay, so I also have these lives and I have created, this is what I'm doing. And I still, though, have with my schedule, have it such in my mind that this is the outline of what I want to have happen. These are the conditions. And there are conditions that would cause me to stop doing these lives. Maybe I decide that I take a conscious decision and decide, you know what? I don't want to do lives every Friday. I want to change the day of them, or I want to change where I do them, or I want to be done with them. But it's going to be a conscious decision based on me reevaluating my experience and saying, okay, that promise is fulfilled and I'm moving on. And I think that's something really important. So that's kind of some groundwork for you. When you say you're going to do something, follow through. That's integrity. When you say something somewhere, think about, if I say this here, would I say this somewhere else? My behavior now is the same as, will it be the same? I say that I'm on a diet and some of the people know that I'm on the diet. Am I going to go be hiding, stealing food at this party? Or am I going to be like, I am on a diet and I'm committed to the diet, and it doesn't matter who knows. It doesn't matter if they know or don't know. This is my behavior that I'm choosing. Okay. So that's the kind of the logical part of it. So now I want you to reconnect to the center of your soul. So what if you were in the center of your soul, where your spirit and your body and your mind and all of the amazing aspects of you converge, where they meet? And notice how it feels to be in that connected space. And take some deep breaths. If you want to just pull deep breaths in, if you want to do square breathing where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and do this like kind of breathe in, breathe out, hold at both ends kind of thing. If you want to do Fibonacci breathing, that's something I created where you follow the Fibonacci sequence as you're doing that. So breathe in for 3, 1, 2, 3, hold for 5, breathe out for 8, and then hold for 2, which restarts the out restarts the process. So, or you could do 3, 5, 8, and 13. If you want to do that kind of breathing, but whatever kind of breathing you want so that you can, and as you are doing your breathing, your deep breathing, allow your body to relax. And just notice where you have any tension in your body. And maybe as you're breathing in, send light to that tension. And as you're breathing out, allow darkness or gray energy to move out. I'm noticing that I keep scrunching up my shoulders. So what if I just relax them? How does that feel? And what if I just really relaxed and rested into this moment? How would that feel? And what if you were to just rest and relax into this moment? How would that feel? Describe these feelings to you. What does it feel like to be relaxed into this moment? Connected to your soul, where the spirit and the body meet. Just in that beautiful center space where there's so much unconditional love and so much light. How does that feel? Now we're going to go on a little journey and we're going to go up. We're just going to ride the energy going up into the divine spaces, the divine realms. And just keep moving up, up, up. And as you're moving up, allow the body to relax more and trust that you will return and it will be all safe. Notice as you move up that you have more and more peace and lightness in your body and your soul. Notice your beautiful mind is relaxing and allowing itself to move into the observer where it just watches. And maybe it has feedback for you, but it's going to save that feedback until later. And now notice a room. Walk into the room and notice what's in the room. And your room could look small, it could look big, it could be full of color, it could be white, whatever that room looks like for you. And maybe it's that you walked through a door and it's no longer a room. Maybe you walked into a vast field. There's no right or wrong in this. Whatever you see, whatever you experience is right. And if you don't see, if you can't see anything, that's okay. Just believe. It's that simple. What if you could believe that everything that you're doing, even if you can't see it, is happening? What if you just say, okay, I'm walking into a room and you don't see it, but you just trust that the energy is happening. And notice what you hear if you hear. Notice what you smell if you smell. Notice what you taste if you taste. I myself don't smell or taste anything in visualizations, but my daughter's is really strong. Some people don't see, some people don't hear, and that's okay. Whatever your experiences is perfect for you. And notice that there is some form of table or platform or something where you can see a paper a contract, a scroll, maybe even a book. And this is a list of all of the promises you've ever made. Some of the promises are as simple as, I'm going to do that, whether we actually did it or didn't. But that's as simple. And some of those are really concrete promises, like my promise to always be here for my family. And some of them are covenants. If you made any kind of baptismal covenant or anything like that, these are all of the promises you've ever made, including promises you made before you came into the world. And there may even be a section that is all of the promises that your family made. My family will be this way. My family will be that way. And generations back, this is how my family will be. And yet it's still affecting you today, even if you don't want to be a part of that family. Promise anymore. So this scroll or book or paper, whatever it is for you, has all of the promises you have ever made or that were ever made in your behalf. And maybe you can read it, maybe you can't. We're going to set the intention that as we place our hand upon this, we will be taken to a promise that we need to be aware of, possibly clear or heal or let go of or rewrite. So place your hand onto this scroll or paper or book and allow your mind, your spirit, your soul to travel to the place where this promise is. It could be one you made, it could be one made for you. And you don't even have to know what the promise is. But if you do get the information, take note of it. You may even come slightly out of this meditation to write it down, or this guided imagery. And ask yourself, is this a promise that I want to be held to anymore? And if you get yes, then say thank you and ask yourself, how can I live this promise in my life today? How can I be true to this promise? And just allow yourself to receive that as the rest of us say, no, I do not want to be a part of this promise anymore. It is not for me. It was either made in haste or it wasn't even made for me, and I don't want to be a part of this promise. And if that's the case, send some beautiful love, loving energy. Just if you can't send it yourself, then bring in some sort of guide that will bring that love in a ball of energy and just send it into this promise. And as it's sending in, you may watch as ties are untied, as words are rewritten or dissolved, but this promise is going to be cleared away and fulfilled. This promise is no longer yours. It's no longer affecting you. We're letting it go. Thank you for being a part of my life. You've served me well up to this point. Even though I didn't know about you, you had a purpose, and now I'm letting you go. And I'm stepping into a new energy. And ask yourself if there is a new promise that you need to make at this time. And if there is, make a note of it. And if there's not, that's okay. Know that whatever choices you made in this are affecting you now. It is clearing all of the energy coming forth, and you will walk forward with this new awareness and this change, that this promise no longer affects you, or if you've stepped into a promise fully consciously, that now that is a part of your life and you will walk forward with this fulfillment. Now return to the space where you are seeing that paper, the book, the scroll. And notice how it looks a little bit lighter. It's been changed somehow. And know that you can always return and do this process again with whatever promise you're ready for next. And thank the book for keeping a record of all of the scroll, the book, whatever it is. Thank it for keeping a record of all of the promises that you have been kept under. And promise the book that you are going to, this is a promise, that you are going to do your best to be more conscious of the promises you make in your life. And now before we leave, I want you to see a ball of energy above your head. And in this ball of energy, you will see the divine, the universe, your guides placing truths, beautiful light and truth and love. And the definition of the God of the Most High's definition of integrity, how to live integrity, how to be integrity, how to speak integrity, how to act integrity, how to see integrity around you, how to receive integrity from others. And what if it were true? What if this energy was real and you were receiving that into your body right now? Allow that to move into your body. Allow that to move into the center of your soul and moving out into all of the aspects of you. Igniting within your spirit that remembrance of integrity. Moving into your body with the knowledge of integrity. Moving into your mind and all of the aspects of you. This energy of integrity is moving out into all of you. And what if this were true? And what if it were real? How would that feel? And when you are ready, return to your body. Come fully into your body, into the center of your soul, where your spirit and body meet, and bring that center of your soul into your body, knowing that you have brought forth this integrity and this changes in your promises. And when you are ready, start moving your body in whatever ways it wants to move. And when you are ready, open your eyes. And just allow, as you're moving your body, it is allowing the energy to rewrite, to release what no longer belongs, to integrate the new energy of integrity and promises that have been changed. And I would love to have your comments. I would love to know about your experience with this. For myself, I actually was taken to a promise. I don't know anything about the promise, except for that it was not mine. It was an ancestral promise. I kind of get the impression, not as strong, like for sure this is it, but I kind of get the impression that it was about money, that it was some kind of a familial choice about how to live and how to be concerning money. And it was a promise that was put upon my family, and I'm no longer a part of that promise. And I'm going to ask a question really quick because it wasn't brought to mind in the meditation state or the visualization. It's not really a meditation, although some people might call it that. It's a visualization. So I'm going to ask a question really quick. Okay, so the question that I asked is, when I release myself from this promise, does it release the whole family from the promise? Because sometimes energy work can do that. The thoughts that I have is sending the love into the energy that we did will do some shifting of the energy and will help untie some of the promises for other people, but it doesn't necessarily clear it for everybody. It will clear the energy that my children have inherited me in association with this promise, so it may completely clear it for them. If you had a generational promise come to your experience, you can also ask right now, send the intention, please clear and transmute and fill that promise with love so that it clears for all of the family, that it clears for all of the ancestors and for all of the descendants who were also tied into that promise, that it clears completely for all of the generationals, that it clears out of the DNA of all of the people who have been a part of this promise. All of those who are willing to accept it, because we don't want to we don't want to infringe on somebody's agency. We want them to accept it and be willing to receive it. And so we ask that this be done. And so it is. I apologize for the yawning. That is telling me that the energy is shifting and that it is changing, and that was good. I keep being drawn to my drum back here, if I can reach it. This is a steel tongue drum. It's also called a meditation drum. And this one is not perfect, but I love it anyway. To explain the not perfect, if I can get one of these. I want to get both of, well, no, I just want one of them today. I'm going to do something and it might hurt, and I apologize, but I want to explain to you why this is not a perfect drum. So we have the lowest note, and then the second note, third, fourth, fifth, and are you ready for the pain? Sixth, seventh, eighth. So I have this sixth note that is so out of whack. And then the seventh and eighth notes, they're not bad, but they're not clear notes. So I don't love them. But I do love these notes. They're really beautiful. I will pull this down because I think this is really fun too. Okay, so I keep being drawn to it because I feel like to really finish up this live, I want to just play a few notes to help resonate the energy. In fact, I'm going to put a clear intention that as I play the note that I feel called to play, which note is that? Okay. As I feel called to play this note, that it will bring this energy to a close, that it will be a note of healing, a note of completion. The energy is done, it is completed, and a reminder to you of the beautiful promises that you've acknowledged, made, and changed, and that reminds you to be more intentional with your promises throughout your day, and that you are very careful about the promises that you make, and that you spend much time pondering integrity and living in integrity and being in integrity. And so if we had people on here, and I'm not sure if there's anybody watching or not, that's okay, I would leave time for a couple minutes to do to answer a couple questions if you sent them in the chat. So I'll give a couple of seconds just in case somebody is watching. I do remember that YouTube doesn't always tell me if somebody's watching the live. I think it tells me if a subscriber is watching, but I'm not positive. It's been a while since I did a YouTube live. I definitely prefer the platform of YouTube lives versus the platform of Facebook lives. So that's good. And I definitely prefer, or I'm definitely aware now that I need to come on before I even want to go live and do all of the setting up stuff quite a bit before, so that when it's time, I can just hit go, because it is a little bit slow in doing some of the writing stuff that I had to do before coming on. Okay, I've jacked for a couple minutes or a minute or so, and I don't have any responses. So I am going to play this note 3 times with that intention that I set. And I very much appreciate you. I want you guys to remember to live from your soul, to let your light shine big, bright, live, and beautiful. And when you are doing that, when you are letting your soul shine, you are living in integrity. And it is incredible. And it is beautiful. And I want to see that. Even if you are saying things that I don't necessarily believe or agree in, I want to hear them, because that's your integrity. That's your truth. And that is what I'm leaving with you guys today. I will see you guys next time. See.